Okay, so it seems like there's been a situation going on with Dokibird, which she had to address over on stream because this has gotten pretty ridiculous. And if you can't tell, it's Dokibird versus Twitter. Now, Twitter is always a lovely space to go on every single time, and everything is just perfect there, and nothing wrong ever happens. I'm joking. It always is a pretty horrible place to be on, especially whenever, tensions are high. And yeah, it gets pretty interesting sometimes, and people get pretty butthurt over the smallest of jokes and the smallest of things. Now, this was essentially a post from Dokibird that went up, which got a lot of hate from people for absolutely no reason at all. She didn't deserve any hate from this. Obviously, she puts identity theft is not a joke, and they say new username Dokibird. This is her signing up to Hytale, which Hytale actually did DM her saying, we'll DM you. Yeah, essentially saying that she could get her name on Hytale, and obviously this is probably due to someone yoinking it before she did, right? Let's be honest, some fan probably went, oh yeah, Dokibird's free, I'll take that, and yeah, went ahead and took it before she had the opportunity to, which again, obviously, she's not exactly entitled to it, but also, it's funny to make a joke out of it. Now, for the people who are pretty smart in the audience, you probably recognize this joke, because this is a joke not only to say identity theft is not a joke, but also it's from The Office. If you guys have ever watched The Office, this is exactly where the quote has come from, and this is exactly what Dokibird is quoting.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year. Michael!
So yeah, obviously it's a joke about, Dwight, being impersonated by Jim, and he says identity theft is not a joke, and that is what she's referencing to within this tweet. But as you guys can see, going down even further into the replies, obviously a lot of people say, oh no, I'm sorry, or saying I stole it. Some people actually getting the joke, thank God. Some people are actually pretty smart. And people say Dokibird, just a name. The real Dokibird is, they say Lamau, millions of family every year. As in, guess what? And then, yeah, you got some people like this say Dokibird is not trademarked or copyrighted, so free to use and say. People saying, imagine having a name for the longest time, and then someone else gets the same idea, goes popular, and thinks they own it. Influencers think they own nicknames, and using said influence this way is the most egocentrical thing ever. Which again, obviously not understanding the joke at all. I think it is pretty funny that, they don't understand the fact that saying that identity theft is not a joke is a joke. It's a joke. It's a reference. It's a thing. Like, she doesn't. I'm sure Dokibird doesn't care about having to change her username, to something different, right? Just adding like Dokibird 1 or like Dokibird or something like that, right? It's really not that hard. And yeah, some people are just being so stupid about it, saying you're now obligated to name yourself from 4 years ago. So they reserved a bunch of major streamer usernames just in case, which is awesome that they thought that far ahead. Saying since it says it's already reserved, I'm guessing you just have to message or email them to get it. Say for real, somehow when I went to register for Hytale, someone took it and contact support. So a lot of people are actually being pretty helpful, right? But it seems like she did get some kind of people just being like, hey, you're not entitled to this name. Just because you're a big streamer doesn't mean you get to have this name, right? And again, it is pretty insane. And Dokibird did eventually, I think, change her name to not Dokibird, which again, as I said, you can always find variations and things. But she did talk about it over on her stream. This is a clip from the worst clipper ever. Again, as I say always with this channel, they're not the worst clipper ever. They're just called that. So if you guys want to go subscribe to them, definitely go and do so. But yeah, essentially, this is Dokibird talking about this incident.
So many of my tweets and comments are going like out of what's it called, out of the community, breaching, what's it called when like stuff goes out of the
breaching mainstream
circle. What's it called? No, like when it goes outside of your circle. Is that what's called? Breaching containment
or no?
Going outside of my circle. Or
it should be on the thing.
It's on the website, but it's not really a bracket because
I made a joke tweet about, you know how I always tweet about like identity theft is not a joke, like the Office joke, and I always make that joke every time because I just think it's funny. And then so I made that for Hytale, Yeah, it left my target
500 teams
audience.
is
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
though.
yeah. It left my target audience, and I got so many people angry at me, being like, "Just because you're a streamer, you think you deserve special treatment?" Or like, what if someone used to had Dokibird before and you took their name? And I was like, I will let you guys know, Dokibird was not like a thing. Like, no one took Dokibird. That's why I am Dokibird. Literally, like when I made Dokibird, like no one ever had the name Dokibird before, and that's why I was able to use Dokibird. And it was only, and then it was like a free for all.
Because then you don't have to trade resources on main, and you can just
but then
stand
it
at the
was
edge of the point,
crazy. People were like, just because she didn't trademark it, she has no claim to Dokibird, so anyone could take that name. And it's like, if Hytale gives her Dokibird, then that game is dead to me in my eyes, because then they should give special treatment to everybody, not just streamers. And I'm just like, what the?
No, I'm not betting Torch. Okay, that's so bad. I ranked that card in next year.
What the fuck? I was just trying to make a funny tweet. Like, I was just referencing The Office.
Who's on Mate's team? Speedily or?
So yeah, as you can see, she is pretty light spirits about it. She's not too annoyed, but again, it is pretty funny that people are getting so worked up over it, because obviously she goes on to talk about the fact that she jokingly questioning if The Office is now considered retro or old school because so many people failed to recognize the reference. Apparently, a lot of commenters argued that she had no claim to the name Dokibird, which of course, yeah, we saw. This Dokibird explains that her name was not a thing. And yeah, she says, she also goes on to talk about some other stuff as well, but she talks about the negative environment of Twitter and noting that people seem to go insane trying to find something wrong with even something simple and funny, which, as you can see here, you know, that definitely did happen. And she attributes this to a lot of engagement baiting and prevalence of bots designed to trigger rage, which, yeah, I do think is true. And yeah, I think that at the end of the day, obviously Dokibird says that her name did not exist before this anyways, right? And I do think it is one of those things, right? I think Dokibird is a pretty unique name, and they did come up with a pretty unique name. And sure, maybe there's one person out there who did happen to have something similar, but I do think in these cases, right, whenever usernames get taken like this, it is due to the fact that it's a fan or someone that watches them that wants to take it before them, whether, or not even necessarily a fan, sometimes other people that obviously will sit there, hold the name, and obviously sell it to them for money, right? Because obviously usernames is actually a pretty big, I guess, revenue stream for some people, right? Because some streamers will do anything to get the right username on a game or on a social media platform to the point where, yeah, they're willing to pay quite a bit of money for it, right? So that is why that it happens quite a lot, especially with bigger streamers that have very unique names too, that, you know, usually wouldn't be taken by just some random person. It's usually because, again, as I said, either a fan or someone looking to try and get money. But I think in this case, for Hytale, actually, it says username is already reserved. So I'm pretty sure, as some people mentioned in the replies down there, is essentially they hold some of the top streamers' usernames to essentially give it to them whenever they are ready to play the game, which I think is good if that is the case, because it says username is already reserved, not username is already taken. So that makes me think that they reserve usernames for streamers to then go message Hytale, because obviously Hytale says we will DM you. So hopefully that means that she did end up getting it. But obviously she did post later on with that tweet saying not Dokibird, but I do think that she does have permission to use that username as well. So again, hopefully things do get sorted out. But at the end of the day, I think the kind of moral of the story is Twitter is just being Twitter, right? People are going to get angry. People are going to get annoyed for absolutely no reason. Again, people didn't recognize that this was a Office reference, and some people are just very, you know, I don't know, stupid. They can't really know. They can't really know whether something is a joke or not. But yeah, I mean, that is essentially it. That's all we got for this video. I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was a pretty interesting situation. And yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So yeah.